Hey everybody, what is going on? It's your boy Izzo33, welcoming you back to another Anarchy Analysis predictions and results video. Now obviously we're covering the LEC and the LCS, and today we're going to be starting with week 2 results. And oh boy, week 2 we had some pretty fiery matches up on Friday. And yeah, we had started off with probably one of the best matches all season, Origin versus Rogue, which obviously I predicted Rogue to lose, Origin winning. And then we had a matchup I expected could go either way, and I predicted an SK win narrowly, obviously. I then predicted G2 smashing Vitality, and then probably another one of the most interesting matchups from this weekend. It was XL and Mad Lions, which I predicted the Mad Lions win. And for the final match of Friday, it was Schalke and Fnatic, and I obviously went with the strongest side in the league, currently in Fnatic. Now, if we go over the results, obviously Origin beat out Rogue, and they currently sit on the same amount of wins and the same amount of losses, up in second on the leaderboard. Then it was that matchup I said that could go either way, and I do believe out of one misplay, Misfits countered on it and won the game off it. I didn't really fully watch the match, but yeah, Misfits got lucky and won that game. And for the third matchup on Friday, we had G2 versus Vitality. It was obvious it was going to G2. They're by far the strongest team in the league currently, and I've got a lot of new practice writing up on how they're playing. And for the last two matches, it was XL and Mad Lions versus and Schalke and Fnatic. XL actually were triumphant and defeated Mad Lions. We got there eventually. And for the last matchup, Fnatic beat Schalke. No surprises there, and we've only had two matches that obviously were very, very close in my predictions overall for the season. Where they actually finish up is kind of close. Whoever won it could go either way. As for Saturday, we had some pretty big matches. Misfits XL, Mad Lions Schalke, Rogue Vitality, Fnatic SK and G2 Origin in the match of the week. I predicted Misfits to lose, XL to win considering the run they're on, Mad Lions to win against Schalke, Rogue to beat Vitality, Fnatic to beat SK, and G2 to beat Origin. As for the actual results, ladies and gentlemen, Misfits beat XL. This game, however, was a lot better for Misfits overall, and I think they're starting to get their mojo back from last year, how they had a good solid squad. Mad Lions beat out Schalke in the second match of the day. No surprises there. Schalke had been on a poor run of form since losing at upset from the roster. It's been kind of downhill for them. Rogue beat out Vitality in a pretty interesting and explosive matchup. You should probably check that out on the LOL VODs. Fnatic beat out SK, fairly obvious result that was, and G2 in the match of the week beat out Origin in a very, very explosive match that I do believe I did my Anarchy Analysis on. Be sure to check that out as well. So if we look at the LCS now, and the 4 matches up on Saturday, and it was CLG 100 Thieves, Dignitas Team Liquid, Immortals C9, GGU, and EG. Now, I predicted 100 Thieves winning the first matchup, I predicted TL winning the second matchup, C9 beating Immortals, and EG beating GGU. Now, let's get into the actual results, and what we saw was 100 Thieves absolutely smashing this CLG team, who's been underperforming so far this season as a whole. in our second matchup, we had Dignitas overachieving this season still, beating out Team Liquid. C9 smashing Immortals in a very, very good matchup, and GGU picking up their first win of the season against Evil Geniuses. Now, this matchup, or matches, ended up in a zigzag in actual predictions, which I was expecting a one-sided affair, if you get what I mean. And moving on to Sunday, we can run down the matches here. Ooh, I've set it up wrong. I predicted... Wait. I predicted TSM winning. Well, these are the actual results. What has happened here? Okay, yeah. As you can see, let's just say I set this up wrong. Whoops. TSM beat out their opponents on the first day. For them, Team Liquid also won up in their matchup of the week. 100 Thieves actually was who I predicted to win against C9. C9 still undefeated at the top of the leaderboard and remain top, and Immortals won their matchup against GGU. It's kind of obvious who the last matchup was because, you know, I predicted them to lose every match so far. And for our Monday Night League, we predicted some pretty good results here. As FlyQuest versus Dig, I predicted Dignitas to win. Considering the form Dignitas are on, that was kind of a no-brainer for me in that choice. And TSM to get their second win of the season against their longest reigning rivals in the LCS in CLG. And as for the results, FlyQuest gave Dignitas their first loss of the season, and they're no longer tied with C9 at the top of the leaderboard. And TSM dominant smashing of CLG with a 24-minute win, I do believe it was. It was insane for them to actually win. Now, let's go over our overall results for the week. Friday, I got 3 out of 5 for the LEC. Saturday, I got 4 out of 5. So our perfect record of 10 out of 10 for every game is gone, and it's down to 7, which is still good. And for the LCS, we got 2 out of the 4 on the Saturday. We improved by 1 on the Sunday, taking it up to 3 out of 4. And Monday, we got 1 of them right out of the 2, giving us an overall score of 6, which is an improvement of last week, which was only on 5. Now, as for the grand total for each region, we're on 17 out of 20 for the LEC, and for the LCS we're 11 out of 20. Now, me knowing Europe a little bit better is a surprise, because I'm actually more intrigued by the LCS. It's a lot more explosive for me, and one of my favourite teams is over there, so you kind of have to support them. Now, let's get on to my week 3 predictions for the 2 regions. Let's get going. Starting with Friday, we have Mad Lions SK, Misfits Schalke, Fnatic XL, Vitality OG, and Rogue G2. And I've immediately gone with the strong prediction of Mad Lions dominant winning against SK. SK have been kind of this meh team. They're like bottom to middle of the pack sort of team right now, and they are kind of underperforming, whereas Mad Lions are sort of your 5th, 6th sort of place team right now, who are doing well. I honestly expect them to do well this season, and they are showing it. As for the second matchup, probably going to be my LEC Anarchy Analysis, Misfits versus Schalke. And I've gone for Misfits. They're on a turn of form here, and they're starting to show some good strength. I watched their last matchup of the week. It was very good, and I'm actually thinking they can beat the Schalke team, who seem pretty weak so far this season. As for our third matchup, probably one of the more intriguing matchups of the week that I would have done a Anarchy Analysis if it weren't for the fact that I've already covered XL this season. I want to do each team at least once, and I want to do all the teams first. I've currently done G2, Origin, and XL and Rogue. So 4 out of the 10 teams, so we're almost halfway. And if I do the Misfits Schalke, or Schalke's other game on the Saturday, then I'll be up to 6 out of the 10. But yeah, I kind of want to cover every team, and I want to probably do this Schalke matchup this week. Anyway, for the Fnatic XL game, we have gone with XL, pipping Fnatic. I feel it's going to be a close matchup here. It's kind of the Splice Fnatic game from last year, where Fnatic just pipped out Schalke. I feel that XL are going to pip out Fnatic. Just barely, though. It's going to be a good matchup, and one I want to watch, most definitely. As for the fourth matchup on Friday, we have Vitality in Origin. Another one of those interesting matchups here. You have bottom of the barrel Vitality versus top 3 Origin, and I've gone with Origin here. It's probably your safe bet, but I feel that we may see an upset here. Maybe not. Well, we'll definitely see upset. He's in the game, but you know, I feel that Origin should do well in this matchup. And for our last match of Friday, a very, very explosive Friday, I should say, you have XL Fnatic as well as Rogue G2 on the same day. That is I'm going to be intrigued by this game. It's going to be Rogue versus G2. The Young Guns versus the world's finalists. I'm intrigued by this matchup. It's one of those matchups that I wish that we saw in the LEC final last year, because it would have been explosive. The Rogue team that turned up in the summer split last year, who improved every week on and on, versus the team that made it to finals, made it to the MSI Grand Final and won it. I've gone with G2, obviously. Even though I've bigged up Rogue quite a lot this season so far, and I am enjoying Rogue as a team. They're probably one of my favourite teams in LEC, just behind G2. I've got to go with G2. You can't bet against Perks and Caps this season, and if we see this Rogue team turn up, I think it's going to be a close matchup. However, I feel that the way G2 are going to win, they're just going to control the map far better than this young team and just create plays here and there. Jankos is first blood king for a reason, because he gets so many plays set up and done. You kind of have to give it to G2 and their map knowledge. As for Saturday, we have some pretty big matchups here as well. Starting with Schalke and SK, one of the bottom of the barrel matchups. I can't wait to see Schalke Vitality. That is going to be an interesting one. And yeah, I've gone with Schalke picking up their first win this season against this SK team. And you're probably wondering why? Well, you think on paper, what has this Schalke team changed? It's very little in terms of the roster. They've slightly changed their playstyle because everyone's had to change their playstyle due to the new Rift changes. But this team has probably taken the biggest impact to the changes, and I feel that they're like the TSM of this region. They need a couple of weeks to settle in, and then they start performing. And I think Schalke will turn it on soon. If not, they're going to be screwed and they're not making playoffs, which is a huge shock because I don't remember the last time they missed playoffs. I'd have to check that. As for our second matchup of the day, I've gone with XL. By far the stronger team of the two. You've got your three bottom of the barrel teams in the LEC right now. In comparison to the LCS where everything was quite close, this is one of those matchups that I could see Vitality pipping XL, but it's highly unlikely. It's a good matchup though, to say the least, and one that I'm going to be intrigued to see. As for the third matchup, it's another good matchup for the week. It's Mad Lions versus Rogue, a matchup that could go either way as well. Both two young teams as well, ladies and gentlemen. The rookies of the split are probably going to be on Mad Lions this year, and it may be Kazi, because he's been performing so well this season, and this Rogue team has been performing well as well. And I've actually edged this one out to Rogue. Rogue are going to bounce back from their G2 loss on all cylinders. They're going to showcase to the world why they should be top 2, maybe top 3 this season. And yeah, Mad Lions are just going to get stomped, I feel, in this matchup. Fourth matchup of the day, it's Origin and Misfits. Another one of those matchups that I'm intrigued by, because you have one of the top 3 teams this season going up against the team that's on the up in Misfits, and I've edged it to the top 3 team in Origin. Misfits, don't get me wrong, are doing better. They've done what TSM have done this season. They started 0-2 and have gone 2-2, but they're no Origin. Origin have such a good roster this year. I can't see them losing to Misfits. As for the last matchup of the day, it's probably the match of the week in G2 versus Fnatic. And this one is yet again, I hate to say it, but it's another game that could go either way. You have probably the best 2 teams in the league. This is, if you have to watch any matchup in the LEC this week, make it this one. I want to say Fnatic win. Don't get me wrong. I've got a sinking suspicion Fnatic are going to beat G2 in this matchup. Yeah, I've gone with G2. Probably because I rate G2 so highly, and G2 can just put on a show. They styled on Origin in the spring split last year in the finals. Fnatic are the only team to take G2 to a best of 5 to the 5th game, and every time that they've faced each other in a best of 5, G2 have won. I've got a feeling Fnatic though will win this game, like they usually do in the spring split. They'll win it, but I've gone with G2, but my mind and heart now are saying Fnatic. But that is the LEC over and done with for this week. Let's finish out the LCS. Starting with our Saturday matchups, we have EG and CLG, 100 Thieves and Team Liquid, Dignitas TSM, C9 and FlyQuest. And immediately I've gone with the bottom of the barrel matchup between EG and CLG. I've gone and gave it to EG. I saw what TSM did to CLG. They did not put up any sort of a fight early. They were just outplayed, out-macroed, and out-killed by TSM. And I saw the EG TSM matchup. Yet again, both teams have lost to TSM. EG kept it close. EG narrowly lost out. It was a good matchup, but they shouldn't have won it either. TSM just played better. But yeah, this matchup EG I feel can beat this underperforming CLG. As for our second matchup of the week, it's again me predicting 100 Thieves beating one of the top teams in America. 100 Thieves I feel just have that team that will upset one of these big three teams in TSM, C9 and Team Liquid. Yeah, no one has upset C9 yet. And I predicted 100 Thieves to do it last week. I'm predicting 100 Thieves to beat Team Liquid this week. Kind of got it. I'm sticking to my 100 Thieves are going to upset someone. And for our third matchup of the week, and probably is going to be the match of the week, it's going to be the 3-1 Dignitas versus the 2-2 TSM. The overperforming team versus the wanting to perform team in TSM. I've gone with TSM here. TSM had that rocky start, but they've looked so much better in every game they've played. They've gotten better and better, and they have such a good team that I can't see them losing to Dignitas. As for our last matchup on Saturday, it's going to be C9 FlyQuest in an interesting matchup here. FlyQuest handed Dignitas their only loss on their record. Will they hand C9 their only loss on their record? And no, not in my mind. C9 have looked phenomenal. Sven has been overperforming. If you've seen how he's been playing, he looks nothing like what he did when he played for TSM. He's playing with that freedom. He's got that control. He's showing people why he was so dominant and was in the best in the West bot lane. Now let's have a look at Sunday's matches. We have Immortals versus 100 Thieves, Golden Guardians TSM, Dignitas C9 in a very, very explosive matchup, and FlyQuest EG. Starting with the first matchup, it's going to be Immortals 100 Thieves. You kind of have to say 100 Thieves are going to win this. Immortals, yeah, are decent. They're probably my 7th, 8th team in the league, but 100 Thieves, I feel, can just dominate them. They're going to smash them. Sunday's just going to outplay a gank top lane like that's been happening to him throughout the season so far. I think every game he's had one of those outplays. And for the second match of the day, it's GGU versus TSM. This one, yet again, is going to be a stomp. TSM, I feel, could lose this matchup. They've struggled against some of this roster before. They usually have a bit of an interesting matchup with GGU, but I kind of have to give it to TSM here. They're just looking better. They're consistent. As for the third matchup of the day, this is one of those matches that everyone should watch, and probably is going to be my match for the Anarchy Analysis, because I don't think I've touched Dignitas. Or did I touch Dignitas last week? I forget. Anyway, yes, I did touch Dignitas. I did dig TL. Anyway, Dignitas versus C9. I'm thinking Dignitas are going to hand C9 their first loss. Dignitas are performing well this season. Yes, I did say they'd lose to TSM, and on paper C9 is a stronger squad than TSM. But I think Dignitas can, with their style they've been playing, just smash C9. And it's going to be an interesting top side, which you have the best top laner in the LCS in the All-Star mid laner, top laner Licorice, versus a world champion in Huni who's been performing well, who's been getting his trio of top picks, he's been getting his Rumble, he's been getting his GP, and he's been occasionally getting his third pick, which I tend to forget what it is. I think it is Aatrox, but he's been getting these picks that he is performing well on, pretty uncontested. And if Dignitas are on blue side, I feel that he's going to be getting a strong lane into Licorice, and is absolutely going to demolish Licorice in lane, and that is probably how Dig are going to win this game. And finally for Sunday, we have FlyQuest EG. A matchup that could go either way, but you got to give it to FlyQuest with their recent form. FlyQuest have been performing, whereas EG haven't. They've been slowly on the decline, and I feel that FlyQuest are going to show up and demolish this EG team. There's not much more I can say on this matchup, but I feel it's going to be a pretty good one, to say the least. And for the Monday Night League, we've got TL versus GGU and CLG versus Immortals. 3 of the bottom 4 teams are in this actual prediction for Monday. And Team Liquid versus GGU, you've got to give it to this TL team. You look at every player in there. You look how many All-Stars that are in that squad. How many World Champions. How many people have actually made it to Worlds in comparison to that GGU lineup. Yeah, no thank you. I'm going with Team Liquid. And for the other matchup of the week, CLG Immortals. Don't know how this is match of the week. But, you know, I've got to give it to my boys, Immortals. CLG have been underperforming. They need to shake something up. Switch up the roster. I've seen that their roster is weird in the sense that their academy team are fielding Stixxay. And last Monday, Stixxay played 2 matches. He played in the TSM CLG matchup and the TSM Academy CLG Academy matchup, which he lost both, granted, which doesn't help morale, but he's going to be probably playing the CLG Academy matchup as well. And from what I remember, the Immortals Academy is pretty strong, and I feel that he's just going to be smoked. He's not going to be performing to his best ability, and that bot lane's going to be punished for it. So that's how I feel Immortals are going to win. But anyway, that's going to be it for this predictions and results video. It took a while, don't get me wrong. I've put a lot of thought into these matches this week. If you enjoyed it, leave a like down below. Subscribe if you're new around here, or if you want to. And I will see you guys later. Peace out.